Let us begin.
Jeremy here with Velocity Studio Mix, here to help you create your own studio quality mix in minutes. Now in this episode we're talking about how to create those great studio quality drum tracks, but without all the time and money it normally requires. Now maybe you play guitar or bass, or maybe a virtual instrument like piano, organ, or synths. But drum tracks seem to be the biggest problem for home recording studios, and there's a reason for that. If you don't get the drum tracks right, the recording won't be right. Your mix is only as good as your recording. That's rule number one. You build everything off of your recording. So even if you have a great drummer, getting those great quality drum tracks can be very, very tricky. Now first, there's an issue with space required for the drum kit. Most home studios just don't have the space for it. Secondly, the extreme volume required in playing acoustic drum kits, it'll blow the roof off your house. Next, the large investment of mics, cables, stands needed to capture drum tracks can really run up a budget really quick. Next in line are extra channels needed on your audio interface that you've probably not thought about. To capture a drum kit could be anywhere from 4 channels all the way up to 12 channels. Now I recommend that you use at least 6 to 8 channels to get some good recorded drum tracks. Also, additional sound engineering knowledge may be needed to get great drum tracks. Just because you have a drummer, mic everything up, plug it into your audio interface and hit record doesn't mean that it's even going to sound good. Every room has its own unique acoustic signature. So what do we do to resolve this? Well, I've got a piece of software that I like to use, whether you have a drummer or whether you don't have a drummer. I believe this is going to help you. We're going to look at that in this episode and see if we can solve some of these issues for you, and may even generate new songwriting inspiration for you for your next project. We'll talk about all this and more coming up next. All right, let's get right into it. We're going to be looking at a piece of software you've probably heard of before. It's fairly inexpensive, but it's a great tool to have in the studio, whether you're a session drummer, amateur drummer, or whether you don't know anything about drums at all and you just need some quick studio quality drum tracks. This is going to help you big time. I'm going to show you how I use it on the day-to-day. Now, really quick, I want to mention, follow us on Spotify, our podcast. We put these episodes on there, Apple and Google, wherever you find your podcasts. And we also have an extended section where we talk more tools and tricks that aren't on this episode on YouTube. Okay, so follow us on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcast. Velocity Studio Mix. So let's get right into it. I've got right here my DAW. I've got Pro Tools. You can use any DAW you want to. Doesn't matter which one you use. We're specifically going to be talking about how I use Easy Drummer 3. Okay, now I know what you're saying. You're probably thinking, I don't want drum loops, but this is a little bit different. The Easy Drummer 3 or Superior Drummer, they have two different kind of software packs that they have, but specifically we're going to be talking about Easy Drummer 3. It is a great software to use because they've gone in and studio session drummers have recorded each individual hit. Okay, the floor tom, snare, hi-hat, cymbals, everything. Okay, and we'll go through in just a moment briefly. This won't be an all-in-all comprehensive tutorial, but I'm just going to show you the basics of it. But basically I've recorded some tracks here. Now you can just have it all bounce down to a stereo track if you want. In this case, I wanted to pan them different ways. I wanted to have different fader levels. So I've got a kick here, snare bottom, hi-hat, toms, ride, trash mic, ambience, reverb, and comp. Okay, so I'm just going to play a little bit of this really quick for you, so you can get a feel for what it sounds like. Okay, so this is a track that I've recorded recently, and then I've recorded the drums, or manipulated the drums, whatever you want to call it, made the hits of the drums, performed the drums in Easy Drummer 3. So basically, you've got intro, you've got a verse, and we've gone into a chorus. And as you can see, the cymbals are really bright like you want to. This is without any EQ whatsoever. Okay, I really don't have any comp, really don't have any EQ. Up here at the top, I've got a SSL 4KB plug-in on each one of the buses, but as you can see, they are all zeroed out. Okay, so not even using them. I have up here at the top on every single bus, but I've not done any EQ yet. Great song. A lot of build-ups. It's got starts and stops, and so it's definitely not just a drum loop. Okay, I was able to go in there initially, just had a click, went in there to I'm going to show you right now to the Easy Drummer software. You basically have a drum session where you can come in here, you hit this drum tab, and you can hit each one of these and audition the drums. You can go up here and hit a bright room, main room, tight room. Okay, here's the bright room. I kind of like the bright room a little bit better. Okay, there's a tight room. Okay, so you can audition any of these. Once you figure out what you like, then you can go over here to grooves, and it'll use what you auditioned. And maybe you just want to right out the gate just play something. Okay, so I'm auditioning a verse. Okay, if I like that, I can pull that right down at the bottom. Okay, stop that, play or stop. Okay, it's playing at the bottom. I can drag it out, make it long if I want to. I can change the tempo. Maybe I want to about this fast. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here's the new tempo song. Okay, so it's that easy. You can get right into it. You can use this area up top where you hit pop country, standard, straight, the signature if you want to. Then there's this next area if you really want to get in the weeds. Oh, one other thing, there's Song Creator where you can go through here and it will help you label intro, chorus, and create an entire song. If you just want one groove and export that, you can do that. Like right now, we could go up here and export that one track if we wanted to. If we wanted to make a whole song and audition several other parts, scroll down through here and put a bridge in. Maybe put a build up, a chorus. We could stick those in there really easy. Just click and drag, really easy. Pull those together. Anything we want, okay? Easy, easy. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to load up really quick one of mine. And again, there's several ways of using this. You can put it into a looper so that when you don't have your drummer, you can play your songs still and practice those songs with the rest of the band or a worship band or what have you, because a lot of times with church bands, worship bands, you have drummers coming in and out or somebody can't make it. Well, you still got some way you can play through the songs roughly with tracks would be a great way to do it. Okay. Also practicing, hitting any one of these grooves like we talked about. You could just start playing one of these grooves and audition one of these grooves like this verse 1 and come up with a brand new song. A whole lot easier than trying to do that on your own. And it's more authentic sounding than some drum machine, right? Because these are actual hits made by session drummers and put into a groove form, okay? So right here down at the bottom, I've got my song that you just heard, and this is where I've auditioned grooves, slammed them down here, okay? And I've got little breaks and everything. Okay, sound very familiar? Okay, now that part right there, that was that build up in the middle of the song after the bridge. Now that's where you can really get in the weeds if you want to. If you wanted to get really in depth, you go up here to the grid editor and you can see where I've gone in here and I've made a few little changes here and there. Okay, one of the things you can see here are all the kicks. Okay, You could hit this pencil, and if you wanted to, here's the break of the song. You can see where the intro restarts and there's no drums there. If I wanted to, I could hit that pencil, and depending on which grid I'm on, kick, snare, if I want to put a kick in there, I could put a kick in there, okay? If I want to take it away, hit it again, right? Instead, maybe I wanted another tom, okay? I'll follow that grid all the way down, put it there. If I want to take it away, okay? And notice, here's that build-up area right here that you'll notice. I'm going to zoom over there and show it to you real quick. Again, this is not a comprehensive video on how to use this, but I just think it's absolutely amazing if you wanted to get in a little bit into the weeds about it. And you can see where it comes in. I'm going to hit play. And all I did is I had gone in here and I'd hit snare, 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 floor tom, floor tom, floor tom. I actually put those beats in there, okay? And then when we got closer to the end, I wanted it faster, so I made them closer together. Bum, 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 bum. That's snare and floor tom. And the only other thing I did is I went in here, and you can drag this up and down, each one of these, to make this kind of ramp up the velocity. It's what this is called right here, the velocity. Okay, you can randomize it, you can change the dynamics, the velocity, the slope, and make this ramp up like it did. So I'm going to play what we put in on the grid. Okay, so a lot of possibilities here. The next thing is you can, after you get through with all this, you can go over here to the mixer, and you actually have a mixer. I mean, this is absolutely amazing for every different instrument. Now, some of these we don't have on this track, right? I don't have tambourine. I don't have, the shaker or claps or whatever, so I don't need that, right? It's just at Unity, okay? But some of the other drums we do, and we can pull that up and down if we want to. We can pan them. They're already panned on here. You can see the rides panned, hi-hats panned. A lot of these are already panned for you. Then down at the bottom you have your overhead, ambience, crunch, drive, all this kind of stuff. So you can kind of pre-process all this before you even export it out to your DAW. So that's what makes this amazing. Now, one other feature here that's pretty great is maybe you already have a song you could export, maybe a scratch guitar, okay? Scratch guitar or acoustic scratch guitar. And you could pull that track over into here, and it will help you find drums to accompany that.